All right, guys, welcome. Live stream should be starting up right now. We have a 5-game slate to discuss on Tuesday. Some pretty solid games. And that Golden State Phoenix one, as I mentioned, I'm really excited to watch that one. There's a few games that look pretty good for DFS purposes. As far as injury news goes, we got news that Gary Trent is in fact out. Again, I did not expect him to play. Steve Mikhailiuk once again starting for him. And the pretty surprising news here was Damian Lillard, which we got a couple hours ago. Dame is out, Norman Powell's out, and Nasir Little is out. So the Blazers in a good matchup, now without 3 pretty key rotation players. I think they're going to look really, really solid for this slate. So, yeah, I think it's a fun slate, guys. But this will be a Q&A live stream. So, as always, make sure to leave questions in the chat. I'll be live for 25, 30 minutes answering questions. So, leave questions in there. I'll make sure to get to everyone's questions. And then I think we're basically up to date on that. Wiggins also questionable. That's somewhat significant as well. Could boost up the appeal of a guy like Otto Porter. We just got news. RJ Barrett, Noel, Rose, Robinson, Taj are all game time decisions. So that doesn't help us much with the Knicks. They could also be really, really thin. So, yeah. All right. What's up, guys? Tori, how's it going, man? Dirty Dan, what's up? Let's see what the Blazers guys being out did to the line. I'm curious because wasn't it like 7 or something or 9? Now it is 6.5. I want to say it was like 9 points. So yeah, definitely think there's less blowout risk in that game now. I think it was like 9 or 9.5. Now it's 6.5 with Dame and those 2 other guys out. Svi season, yeah. RJ expected to play. Okay, did we just get that? Let's see. Okay, yeah. RJ expected to play. Okay. Let's see. Barrett expected to play. Armando, what's up, man? Too risky to fade CJ. Ooh. Anything can happen. For cash games, yeah, you don't fade CJ in cash. For GPPs, it would be tough to fade him, but it's possible he could have an underwhelming game. Like, when was it? I want to say it was a few weeks ago when Dame was out and CJ had like a really underwhelming game, plus it was a blowout. Now, I expect this game to stay competitive, so yeah, he looks like a really solid play. Chris Paul over Fox for tournaments? It's a good question. I think it's really close to those two. Like, I think Chris Paul is just going to go overlooked on the slate, right? Really haven't seen a big game from him yet, but the positive is he's going to play more in the big games, and this is obviously a big game against Golden State. So I think we get 35-plus minutes from Chris Paul. We haven't seen like a big 50 fantasy point game from him in almost 2 weeks, so I think the ownership will be relatively low. Kind of like I talked about last video, Jonas Valanciunas. You had all those blowouts and all that foul trouble, and the box score watcher is going to avoid him. That's why he was 0.7%. I think Chris Paul is going to be pretty low on in this slate, but I like his upside at this price. So small lean for me to Chris Paul over De'Aaron Fox. Now, De'Aaron Fox is definitely in the better matchup. The issue with the Sacramento team, though, is just like I still don't fully trust anyone. So like I don't think I could pull the trigger on Fox and feel like really good about it. He's definitely more of a risky option because his usage has just not been the same. Yeah, Harrison Barnes not expected to play, but doesn't do a ton for me. Pretty much just, yeah, I mean, those Blazers guys look good. The only concern I have with Nurkic, the only concern is the Pistons closed small last game. They did not bring Isaiah Stewart out there. And we know Portland has been, wanting to close small a decent amount. Like, they closed big here against Sacramento because he was smashing, and they closed big against a big front court against Utah. Against Golden State, 24 minutes from Nurkic. So, is there a chance Yusuf Nurkic plays like 23 minutes tonight? It's possible. So, he now might be a little bit over-owned. That's my only concern with Nurkic, is if we get 23 minutes, you can definitely get away with fading. If we get like 30-plus minutes from Nurkic, then you're going to be in a tough spot if you fade, I think. if Rose is playing. Burks would be a lot riskier because he played like 39 minutes last game. If Derrick Rose is in the rotation, I expect his minutes to go down probably below 30. Now, I think he will get some run alongside Derrick Rose as well. So would still like Burks, but would not be someone that I would just plug and play. You like Simons? Yeah, hard not to like Simons, right? He's really, really cheap. He's almost guaranteed to start at the point guard position. We're probably going to get 30-plus minutes from him in a great matchup. So it's hard not to like Anthony Simons. What do you do with CJ? CJ looks great. Van Fleet over CJ? I would rather have CJ. Otto or Bembry? Depends on the status of Andrew Wiggins. If Wiggins gets ruled out, it's definitely Otto for me. The issue I have with Bembry, as I discussed in the YouTube video, is I have zero trust in this Nets rotation. Zero trust in Steve Nash's rotation behind really Durant, Harden, and Aldridge. I have zero trust. So Bembry could start this game today and play 10 minutes, and I would not be surprised. So I just have no faith in those minutes for Bembry. Simons, Fee, Nance. Simons and Fee for me. Does Nurkic look better now with no Dame? Probably gets a little bit of a usage bump. The only concern is there's still a chance they can close small. Over-under KD 28 points. Again, I don't bet props like that. I would bet fantasy props. Well, let's see. What's he averaging? He's averaging 28.6 on the season. Basically a push for me. Plus, the Knicks have not been as good defensively this year. Yeah, I don't think there's an edge there. Do you like Randall? I think Randall will be pretty low owned. Now, keep an eye on Derrick Rose. If Rose is out, probably a little more usage to a guy like Randall. I think we probably get mid-30s minutes from him here. I don't think I trust him in cash games because the floor has been a lot lower on Randall this year. But, as a GBP option, I do like him. Halliburton, playable. Again, I don't really trust anyone in the Kings, to be honest, and especially with the way their rotation's been going. The price on Halliburton now, in my opinion, is getting a little bit too close to De'Aaron Fox. If I'm going to use one of these guards, it's Fox. Fox can go for 50 plus, right? I don't know if Halliburton has that upside. Closing in on the chasing any min price Blazer forwards with Little and Powell out. Min price forwards? I don't want to play Tony Snell, that's for sure. I don't care what his price is. So min price, no. Nance with no Little. We'll see how they do the starting lineup. Nance can play some 4. He can play some backup 5. We'll see what the Blazers do. They might just move Tony Snell back. They might start Tony Snell again. So my guess is with no Little, they probably start Simon, CJ, Covington, Tony Snell, and Nurkic. So my issue with Nance is he might go a little bit over-owned today. Van Fleet, Fox, CJ, Simons, Burks, Otto, Randall, Scotty, Nurkic. I think it's a pretty solid line. You think Nance starts? I don't. I think Tony Snell starts. Fox or CP3? CP3. Where do we go with Memphis? I don't know if there's one standout play in Memphis. I think you got a lot of solid options in that mid-range. So, and you have the black hole of Dylan Brooks. He's going to shoot probably 30 times today. The price has come up, but I still think he's in play for tournaments. Triple J, still not someone I trust in cash games because the foul trouble risk. Upside probably goes a little bit up without Ja. You have Tyus Jones and Melton that will split the point guard duties. Probably a small lean to Jones, assuming he starts again. And then Desmond Bane's been playing pretty well, but the price is $6K. Not a smash spot for him either. So you have 5 guys I think that look pretty decent in the mid-range, but no one that I would say oh my god, I absolutely need to have Tyus Jones today, right? I think they all look like pretty decent options. No smash plays. Is AD a key player? I think AD looks good. Probably my favorite Laker against the Sacramento Kings front court. However, I don't love the price. I think all the Lakers are a little bit overpriced, but with this matchup against the Kings, they can definitely get there. How many is too many Portland in one cash game lineup? 3 or 4? Kind of depends what happens with the Knicks, I'll say. So I'll say 3 right now. Is Burke still safest with Barrett playing? We'll see what the status of Derrick Rose is. If Derrick Rose plays, I'm a little bit Burks becomes a little bit riskier. I don't think he plays 39 minutes. Maybe he plays like 30 minutes. Thoughts on low price options like Conchar, Davis, and Peyton? Thanks, DK. No real interest in any of those guys. If Terrence Davis starts again, you can make the argument for him. I still really don't know how many minutes he's going to play because last game was a weird one. He picked up 2 quick fouls, then he got injured, and then he came back in garbage time and got there. So, I just have no idea how many minutes he's going to play. If he starts again, I would think he gets at least 20 minutes. And he's a guy that's not afraid to shoot the ball. So I guess of those 3 guys, it would be Terrence Davis. I'm guessing that's the Davis you're talking about. Memphis player, Triple J, Bane, Brooks, Melton Jones. Probably the point guards. But, they all look decent to me. They're like secondary options, those Memphis guys, with the other value opening up on the slate. Dennis Smith Jr. projected for 24 DK points tonight and 31 to 25 projected ownership. Feels a little bit high. I get the appeal of Dennis Smith Jr. I do think he's going to be in this rotation. He'll play the backup point guard. I think we probably get 15 to 20 minutes from him off the bench. But if he's going to be that high owned, if he's going to be 30% owned, I'm fine looking elsewhere. Right? I think there's other value that looks better than Dennis Smith Jr. No, I do think he's in play, but 30% Dennis Smith Jr. feels really high. I get going there as a contrarian option, as a pivot off of Simons or a pivot off of some of those other really good values. But 30% Dennis Smith Jr. That's a Dikembe Mutombo no for me. I think he's playable, but that's way too high. Simon, CJ Barnes, Grant, Aldridge, Burks, Fee, Van Fleet, Scotty Barnes. Okay, yeah, looks decent. And Jeremy Grant, if the Pistons keep this game close, he's been playing pretty well of late. 31 to 35 is way too high. I think that's extremely high for Dennis Smith Jr. Stacking Portland and Detroit. Yeah, I think the game looks good. Precious or Otto if no Wiggins. If Otto starts, then I'll say Otto. Tony Snell. Yeah, I'm not playing Tony Snell. There's just no way. Pick one for utility spot. Van Fleet, Booker, Siakam, or Fox. I'll say Van Fleet. No Snell for me either. You wouldn't play Snell if he's below min price. I agree. I probably wouldn't play him if he was free. Like Jeremy Grant, he's been playing well of late. Now that the price has come up, do I think he's going to continue to average 40 fantasy points a game in the last 5 games? No. I think he shot really well last game, but he's a weird one. There's times where he's really score independent. There's also times where he can, be a good rebounder, can get some assists. Last year, he was a guy that was stuffed in the stat sheet for Detroit, and now he's kind of turned into a score-independent player. I just don't know what to make of Jeremy Grant. I never know. The price is up. It's a decent matchup. I think he's for sure in play. Might be a little bit over-owned based on recent games. Quickly viable with no Rose. Is Derrick Rose out? If Derrick Rose is out, that Knicks rotation is going to be pretty tight. I think it might be an 8-man rotation if Rose is out. We just have RJ Barrett expected to play. So, yeah, if Rose is out, I think Quickly is a solid option. Thoughts on Ayton? With all the other good centers in this play, he's going to fly on the slate. He's going to fly under the radar. Now, I don't the Suns are not a team that will. If a team is small ball, they're not going to close small, right? I don't think they close without DeAndre Ayton. So I think we get 32 to 34 minutes from Ayton here. I think he's a decent contrarian option. Not something I love, but I think the ownership is going to be pretty low on him with the other centers on the slate. So, nice way to get different, I think. Van Fleet or Booker last piece in. I think Van Fleet's got a little bit of a higher floor. I think both have a pretty similar ceiling. Both are going to play big minutes. Van Fleet's just going to handle the ball more. And he does more of the peripheral stats. I think he's a little bit safer than Booker, but both have a similar ceiling. I don't think Booker will be super popular. Anyone know top 5 highest owned right now? I would say a lot of it is in the Portland. Burks or Tyus, depends on Derrick Rose news. If Derrick Rose is out, Burks. Quickly, for sure in play. Holmes, another one of those centers I think you could use to get different. I don't think he'll be super popular. Good matchup here. If he can stay out of foul trouble, I think another decent contrarian play. What's up, DK? What's up, man? Thoughts on Simons Fee, 80 Precious, Simons Fee, 80 Precious, THT, Brooks, Nurk. THT is one that I don't love on the slate, but I think he could still get there at his price. I think there's probably other better value plays, but everything else looks pretty good to me. Jeremy Grant is the king of getting 18 DK points in the first quarter and then ending with 25. Yeah, I never know. I never play Jeremy Grant. I think he's for sure viable on the slate, but I just never know what to make of him. I really don't. He's one of the big question marks for me, always. How you feel about this lineup? Let's see. Fanduel. So you got Curry, Simons, THT, McCollum, Barnes, Bembry, Randall, Jackson, Nurkic. Yeah, again, so I mentioned THT. I'm not sure what his price is on Fanduel. Bembry, there's risk. Like I said, I have zero trust in Steve Nash's rotation. So not saying Bembry's out of play. I just think there's more risk involved with him. We have Bruce Brown back. He only played 5 minutes last game. Would I be surprised if Bruce Brown plays 30 minutes off the bench and Bembry plays 15? No. Again, I just have zero trust. Based on what we've seen from Steve Nash, right? Remember, when was it? 3 weeks ago, everyone played Aldridge. I forget who they were playing. Everyone played Aldridge. He was really popular, and then he was basically getting a DNP, and then he played a few minutes in the second half. But okay, Steve Nash. And then the first game of the season, we all think Bruce Brown's going to play big minutes, and he gets a DNP. So there's I just have zero trust in Steve Nash's rotation. DK, your best friend here. Who am I fading? Yeah. That means you should fade the Blazers. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Thoughts on Patty Mills? He'll play big minutes. He's pretty score independent. I don't think he'll be super popular. McGee, safe for cash? No. You can use him for GPPs because he'll be productive when he's out there. Definitely not a cash game play. Covington, I think he probably has to play a little bit more. It's a good matchup. I think he's a decent cheap option. He still has a low floor. You saw it last game. You saw it when I played him in the late slate 3 games ago when he had negative 0.5 fantasy points in 15 minutes and then got ejected. So there's still low floor in Covington, but he probably has to play a couple more minutes. Guys, again, if you're just coming in, make sure to hit that like button. We're at 30 likes. About almost 200 concurrent viewers. Really appreciate you guys checking out the live stream. Booker and Paul probably getting extra minutes. I agree. I think the Suns guards play a little bit more in the big game. So I think we get 36 to 38 minutes from Paul and 38 minutes from Booker tonight. I think there's just a few teams that will play their main guys a few extra minutes in the big games, and the Suns are one of them, right? We saw it with the Nets when Chris Paul played 36 minutes against the Nets. Fee or Terrence Davis? Fee. You expect LeBron to play? Yeah. He's going to be questionable every single game this year, so he's going to play. Anyone stand up? Wiggins is out. Depends who they start. If Otto Porter starts, I think it makes for good value. Lillard's out. How are we taking that usage? Simons and CJ. Yep. Holmes and AD or Durant and Aldridge? Durant and Aldridge. CJ or CP3? CJ. JV versus Dallas or Wood versus OKC tomorrow is the real question. What are the price points? I haven't even looked at the price points. But, both are in good spots. I mean, I like targeting bigs against Dallas. I like targeting bigs against OKC. Wait, the Rockets play the Thunder again? How do you feel about, how do you fade the Blazers and I play them? See what I did there? How about you fade the Blazers and okay. Thoughts on Rocco? Fine value. I think he will go a little bit lower owned compared to some of the other Blazers. I think he probably has to play over 30 minutes now with all those guys out for the Blazers. Again, the floor is still low on him. It's not like he's all of a sudden going to be a guy they're going to be running their offense through. He's still probably going to sit in the corner, shoot some threes, get some rebounds, maybe get some blocks and steals. So he's not a must play, but I think he's definitely more in play now with those other guys out. Suns going for 17 in a row. I'm telling you guys, this is one of the most. This might be the most excited I've been to watch an NBA game. Suns are on fire. The Warriors are on fire. Two of the best teams right now in the NBA playing against each other. Booker and VanVleet, better options if fading CJ than Cade, assuming I can afford. Booker and VanVleet, better options if fading CJ than Cade. I think I would rather have Booker and VanVleet than Cade. All Knicks active. Knicks news out. Every Knicks player's in. Okay, so let's think about this rotation here for the Knicks. I did not surprise every Knicks player to be in. So yeah, Rosen, Barrett in, all 3 of the centers in. So let's think out this rotation really quick. Okay, so all those guys are in. So let's think who's going to be in this rotation. Randall's obviously 1, Barrett's obviously 2, Burks is 3, Fournier's 4, Quickly's 5. Rose is 6. Mitchell Robinson probably starts as 7. I would think Noel gets the backup run. That's 8. I don't think they run 3 centers. Maybe they could. So that's 8. Toppin's 9. So I think it's going to be a 9-man rotation. Possibly 10 if they maybe play some Taj Gibson at the 4. Maybe move Obi a little bit to the 3. I don't think that happens. But yeah, so like Randall, Barrett, Burks is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I expect it to probably be a 9-man rotation. Maybe 10 if they run 3 bigs tonight. So now this makes guys like Burks riskier. Quickly, obviously becomes a lot riskier. Prices up. Derrick Rose, minutes-wise, could play 20, could play 30. He obviously has upside if he plays a lot of minutes, right? When he played 30 minutes against the Bucks, he went for almost 50. Like, Derrick Rose has 40-plus fantasy point upside. He's only 4.3K. This is a big game. I like D. Rose now with him in. But yeah, Burks still viable. I'm a little bit more worried about his minutes now. Tom Thibodeau is shown to go with the hot hand. So if Burks gets off to not the best start, would I be surprised if he plays like 22 minutes tonight? Not at all. No. So now what this does, I think it makes all the Knicks guys a lot riskier. Precious and Paul or Grant and Aldridge? Yeah, that's a good question. The Grant Aldridge one probably looks a little bit better, but it's close. Van Fleet, Bane, Burks, Randall, Chua, Simons, Covington, CJ. All right. Who's getting ejected tonight? Probably someone in my lineup. This game's on TNT. Yeah. Is Curry gets bent up? Curry has probably the most upside of anyone on this slate. He has a little bit of a lower floor compared to some other stars. But I'm expecting 35-plus minutes from Steph Curry, and the Suns have played a lot faster this year. Like, what's the over-under in that game? It is 221. So the second highest on the slate. Who's hitting in foul trouble tonight? Definitely someone in my lineup. The news on Burke says he's going to be the starting point guard going forward. No, he is. Yeah, Kemba Walker's out of the rotation. So Burks is starting a point guard. Burks is still a solid option. Tibbs in his press conference said the rotations would be like last year against the Hawks. Tibbs said in his press conference okay, so meaning he's going to play the main guy's big minutes. So yeah, because like all the main guys play big minutes against the Hawks. Now, is Thibodeau going to troll us? If that's the case, if that is true, and he said it's going to be like a playoff rotation, then we probably get close to 40 minutes from Randall. We probably get like 30-ish minutes from Barrett. We probably get 30-ish from Burks, 30-ish from Fournier. The center rotation, I don't care about. I think Derrick Rose probably gets close to 30 off the bench then, if he is telling the truth. And then like Toppin will back up Randall. So, all right. I don't know if I necessarily trust Thibodeau, but if he is telling the truth, that is a boost to those next guys. Favorite donut? Double chocolate. It's pretty consistent. I'm guessing he's referring to the playoff rotation, where the starters got big minutes. Slow-mo or Nance? Probably Nance. Rose owns Harden. Any love from Monk? Probably not, just because all the other good value on the slate. Melton, Burks, or Fournier. I'll say Burks. Thoughts on Larry Nance? Playable. Might be a little bit over-owned. Triple J or Scotty? Straight up Scotty. Is Curry viable? Of course. Nurk, Simons, CJ, Svi, Barnes. Yeah, Rose. Yeah, I think Rose looks pretty solid. Svi and Tyus Jones, good options, right? Yeah, I expect Tyus to probably push for about 30 minutes. Svi should play 35-plus. Yeah. That guy never smiles? Wait, who never smiles? Curry? Or is he talking about last game they played against the Hawks? Is that who they played last game? Okay. Maybe I'm wrong then. Did they play the Hawks last game? Okay, they did. Okay, yeah, definitely that's what he's referring to. Okay, my bad, guys. I was thinking he's referring to like the playoff rotation against the Hawks. I didn't realize they played the Hawks last game. So Yeah, I think it'll be a 9-man rotation. These are the minutes last game. Randall 32, Robinson 27, Burks 39, Fournier 29, Barrett 31, Sims 21, Toppin 16, Quickly 31, Grimes 15. So Grimes and Sims should be out of the rotation. Robinson will start most likely again. I expect Derrick Rose somewhere in that mid-20s minutes off the bench. Okay. All right. Yeah, I was thinking that he meant the playoff rotation, but it was almost guaranteed he's talking about the last game. I didn't realize they played the Hawks last game. Curry or Westbrook? Curry. Brooks or Burks? Burks for the discount. Knicks played the Hawks last game. Yep. So I misinterpreted that. That's definitely what he was talking about. Yeah, they played the Hawks last game. Van Fleet or CP3. So I think Van Fleet's going to be more popular. I'm fine going to CP3 for lower ownership. Burks will be a great play, 35-plus minutes. I'm still not 100% sure he gets 35 minutes. Burks has been playing good. If Derrick Rose plays really well off the bench, they could limit. I think Burks minutes could be on the low end. I would say probably 25 for Burks. On the high end, probably 35. That's what I'm thinking for Alex. So somewhere between 25 to 35 minutes from Burks. If he plays 25, he's probably going to not be great for you. If he plays 35, there's a good chance he is exceeding value. Burks I think he's an underrated player. I think he's good. He was good for the Knicks in the playoffs. He's a good player. And now he's the starting point guard. So that does raise his floor. Robinson, good value. Not with the other Knicks centers playing. Quickly out of play. Yeah, at that price point, yeah, I think so. Derrick Rose is going to get more minutes than Quickly, most likely. You like a Curry? Yeah, I think it's fine for tournaments. Favorite pay up. Depends, cash games or tournaments. I think still either more optimal is a little bit more balanced. But I think for tournaments, my favorite spend up is Steph Curry. I think he has the highest ceiling, I think, on the slate. Now, he has probably a little bit lower floor than some of those other guys, but I think the ceiling's the highest on Steph. He'll a good play. Barnes is out. He's playable. He'll get a ton of shot attempts up. He still has a relatively low floor because he's score independent. He was the massive chalk 2 games ago against the Lakers, was busting until triple overtime. I still have nightmares about that. Aiden a good pivot off Nurk, or the upside is Nurk is. So yes, no, I think it is. Nurkic is going to be pretty popular now. I'm not convinced Nurkic plays big minutes. There's a chance they still close small against the Pistons. The Pistons want small ball in their last closing lineup. So Nurkic can still fail. If he plays 24 minutes tonight, he might only get 30 fancy points. Now, where you'd be in trouble fading Nurkic is if he does close. If Nurkic plays 30 to 32 minutes and you don't have him against the Pistons, then you're in trouble. So there's 2 ways you could get away with fading him. 1, he doesn't close, or 2, the game's just a massive blowout. That's the way you get away with fading Nurkic. I think if the game stays close, he has and if the game stays close and he closes, he has a ton of upside. Going for 40 tonight, maybe 40 shot attempts. He can definitely go for 40 fantasy points, probably 40 shot attempts. Curry did bad versus Suns in the last 10 games. Yeah, the Suns have been, they were stronger defense last year. Siakam or Barnes, point per dollar. Probably Barnes. Yeah, that was not fun. Burks and D-Rose together, I think you can. I think they'll play alongside each other. I don't think it's going to be negative correlation, really, where, when Burks is off the court, or Burks is on the court, Derrick Rose is off the court. I don't think they're strictly going to play, 1-and-1. I think Burks will play some 2. Rose can play some more at point guard. Harden or KD, Harden, Curry for tournaments. Cody Zeller, the GOAT dime, no thank you. Dotson's fee, good value. I expect him to play big minutes. All right, guys, we're at 5:30. Let's see, any other questions? I'd play anyone that takes 40 shots, even Tony Snell. Again, Dylan Brooks is going to shoot the ball a ton, so I think he's for sure viable. I don't love the price. Nance or Covington, we'll see. We'll see how they do the starting lineup. If Nance doesn't start, I'll say Covington, but that's not a strong take for me. Yeah, Van Fleet or Booker. Van Fleet for cash. I think Booker. Both have a similar ceiling GPPs, but Van Fleet's a little bit the safer option. Okay, guys, so I'm going to call it on that. Good luck on this 5-game slate. I hope you guys win some big money. Hope you avoid blowouts, foul trouble, ejections, all that tilting stuff. And I will see you guys back here tomorrow.